to a performing arts high school, and I wanted to be an actor and singer. But as I neared graduation, I realized that I was not good enough, and I was not driven enough either to pursue that and starve. And luckily, I had a really smart sister, older sister, who was really driven, and she had gone into print journalism and was telling great stories. And I thought, I was like, journalism, broadcast journalism, I can do that. When I started 25 or so years ago at Wood TV, just the stories that I gravitated to were more investigative in nature. And as I did more of them, I was given more opportunities to do them, and it just was natural. People should not be scared of me, by the way. And I should say that confrontations, like confronting bad guys, is not really something that I relish. It's a big deal and a big responsibility to be confronting somebody like that, and I try to be exceptionally careful. I try not to do that. I want to give them an opportunity to talk to me on their own free will, before I would confront someone. I mean, it's not a comfortable position for me personally to be in. But of course I'm going to do it if that's what it takes. One of the gifts of doing what I do is having the time to develop relationships with people. And the family of one of the victims in the Kalamazoo shooting spree, the Uber driver shooting spree from a few years ago, because I had time, because of the nature of my job, I was able to go over to Mary Freebed and talk to Abby Koff's mom. And we developed a relationship, and because of that, she allowed me to document Abby's progress, and that was just one of the highlights of my career, being able to show people this courageous young girl and her family. I gravitate always towards stories about vulnerable communities. People don't understand what's going on in some communities, and I want to help people understand. This is one of my favorite stories ever. I was at the district court window in downtown Grand Rapids, and I just overheard this woman at the window asking about the new law that allows people to expunge prostitution records. The legislature had passed this where people who had been trafficked could go in and have those convictions expunged. So, and that had just become law. And she was saying, how can I use that law? I want to do that. I want to change the way my story ends. And this woman, she was in her 60s, and she had been convicted of prostitution when she was in her early 20s. And at some point, she was able to beat her substance abuse addiction and absolutely turn her life around. So when I initially talked to her, though, she was not at all ready to tell her story. I checked back in with her maybe once or twice over the next couple years. And then it had been 3 years, and I reached out to her. She still wasn't really ready, but we had another conversation about it, and she decided that she was ready and that she was going to trust me. She ended up allowing me to be in the courtroom. The story ran about this woman who you look at her and you would not say this was someone who struggled with substance abuse and who was targeted by a trafficker and was the victim of sex trafficking. And to be able to show people that and to challenge people's preconceived notions that they might not even realize they have, that was amazing. And I was able to do it because of her courage in sharing that story. And that was hugely meaningful to me. But the best moment of all of that was after that story aired, I immediately texted her and I was like, "Are you okay? How are you doing?" And I remember she texted, "Shoot, are you kidding? I'm elated." She said, "I'm elated." And that's the best thing ever. That I was, that she was happy with how it came out, because she was scared. She was scared that somehow there was going to be judgment. It turned out to be a win for me and for her and for the viewers. That was the best.